Hi, welcome to another podcast episode from Go Clear IT. This is Ray Kim, and today we're going to talk a little bit about phishing attacks and specifically the question of why can't we stop phishing attacks? Why do they keep happening and getting worse? So, phishing attacks are email attacks ranging from templated mass mailing blasts to targeted attacks focused on a very specific person or group. You probably see them all the time in your work and personal email accounts, and you're also probably wondering why nobody can seem to stop the attacks from happening. So, we'll cover this today in a brief overview and also give you some tips on avoiding phishing related disasters. So the first question is, why is phishing so prevalent and why does it keep growing? Well, first, something to understand about email is that it's not a closed system owned by one company that can be pressured to fix its problems or improve its security. It's really a set of various standards that all email providers abide by in order to exchange email with each other. And as a result, it has a lot of opportunity for exploitation, and unfortunately, we'll also never stop using it in business. It's such an invaluable tool. So, one of the critical things to understand about email attacks is that they're very, very cheap and very easy to launch. So, in the business world and even in the personal world, we all use software as a service constantly, or SaaS, SaaS, as we call it in Nerdland. But typical examples would be Gmail, Dropbox, Salesforce, Microsoft 365. These are all classic software as a service providers. Unfortunately, phishing as a service is also readily available for cybercriminals, and it operates just like software as a service. You pay a monthly fee, sometimes you even get tech support, and all you have to do is provide a list of email addresses to attack. And unfortunately, email lists are also very easy to buy on the dark web, and this combination makes it really low-hanging fruit for attackers. The payoffs can be really big. Data can be stolen and sold. Your personal data or corporate data can be stolen and sold for sometimes lots of money. And some of the biggest compromises result in wire transfers that get intercepted and redirected to attackers' bank accounts. People can be impersonated for various reasons. And unfortunately, I know personally of two organizations that wired off $500,000 and $150,000 respectively because they were fooled in a phishing attack. They also, by the way, didn't have simple approval protocols. For example, hey, for any wire transfer over X thousand dollars, pick up the cell phone and call the CFO or call the CEO and verify the details. I forgot to mention the specific type of attack that was used in these phishing emails. They both contained login pages, or rather fake login pages, to Microsoft 365. The emails had some kind of language about an account problem, please click here to fix it, etc., and both of the users fell for it. They were presented with a fake login page to Microsoft 365. They put in their usernames and passwords, which were transmitted to the attackers immediately, and they were also asked to put in their multi-factor authentication code, and the attackers were able to capture that code in real time and pass it through to Microsoft. After that whole process was completed, the attackers were able to capture what's called an authentication token. With this token, they can stay logged into the Microsoft 365 account for up to 30 days, depending on how the organization has it set up. Another question you might be asking is, why don't Microsoft and Google do something about this? I'm paying them to host my email. Can't they just put some money into this and make this problem go away? That's a very legitimate question, by the way. But what's happening is, due to competition, they're trying to sell you these subscriptions with these wonderful productivity tools for as little money as possible. So for example, Microsoft 365 Business Standard includes email, SharePoint, OneDrive, licenses for the desktop versions of Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Outlook, etc., and probably a bunch of other software tools that you don't even know exist that are included with that, like Loop. In any case, what they're doing is they're trying to give you these wonderful productivity suites, but those small fees don't have a lot of money left over for security tools. So what ends up happening typically is that they'll either want you to pay for an additional subscription, which includes advanced security tools, or you need to bring in a third-party provider that has the security tools that you're looking for. So really, what can we do to prevent this? Because it's not going away and it's only going to get worse. The first thing to do is to make sure that your email account is as protected as possible to prevent impersonation and other business email compromise activities. We do that with long passwords and multi-factor authentication. Any email account that you have, whether it's personal or work related, should have multi-factor authentication enforced. And you want to use an authentication app like Microsoft Authenticator or Authy or Google Authenticator instead of text-based multi-factor authentication. It is possible to compromise text messaging in very specific targeted attacks using SIM swaps and other methods. It's rare, and certainly it's better to have text message multi-factor authentication than none at all, but app-based is definitely better. And multi-factor authentication is not foolproof, but it definitely makes it much, much harder to compromise your account. Second is be suspicious of any links or phone numbers in emails. And these emails are always playing on your emotions. That potentially unauthorized purchase, your account being suspended, right? If you have any questions about the actual account, if they send you a phishing email about your Netflix account that is being suspended, go to netflix.com on your own and check it out. Don't use the link that's in the phishing email. But if you're really worried, go to apple.com, go to netflix.com, check it out, log in on your own. Don't use the links, don't use the phone numbers in the email, and just make sure that you don't see anything weird. And lastly, in a business setting, make sure that your IT service provider or IT department is using an advanced email filtering tool that can detect phishing emails and impersonation attempts better than the standard detection systems that roll out with Microsoft 365 or Google Workspace or whatever productivity system you're using. So that's all we have for today. Stay safe out there, stop clicking weird stuff, and we'll see you on the next episode.